Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self-help. If you're new, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So today what I wanted to talk to you about is why you're not seeing the things that you're hoping to manifest come true. There are quite a few reasons for this, but I have had clients that I have been working with recently who express the same thing. Like, I'm trying to be more positive and I'm trying to manifest some things and I don't see it happening. And I understand because I have been there myself. I truly have. I have put manifestations out there and not seen them come true. And I'm like, what is going on? What did I do wrong? Why aren't these coming through? And so I want to explore the law of attraction and why you're not seeing your manifestations come true. Why are they not materializing in the 3D world? So first of all, you have to understand that with the law of attraction, if you're hoping to manifest anything, it is all about your thoughts. Everything we think becomes a vibration energetically. And I know that you've probably heard this before, that people have said, hey, if you're hoping to manifest, you got to keep your thoughts positive. But it is absolutely the truth. You have to mind your mind when you're hoping to manifest. Because what happens is, of course, when I say to you, like, are you keeping your thoughts positive? You're going to say to me, yeah, I know that, yes. But if you're not paying attention, and this happens all the time, we may spend like a good 5 or 10 minutes going, okay, I'm going to focus on what I want to manifest. I'm going to think positively. But then the rest of the day, we go on autopilot and we go throughout our day and we're not minding our mind. So what happens is something comes up that kind of triggers us. And then we just start going into this negative mind space. And it can happen so quickly. And the bad thing about that is the longer this negative thinking pattern keeps going, the more energy it's picking up, the more it's vibrating. And so the thing is, it's becoming a match to what you don't want. Because what we do want is already in our vortex. It's already available to us. It just has to become a vibrational match to where we are. And what that means is that we have to be vibrating at a high frequency, which means we need to be upbeat and positive. And so let me give you an example. Let's say, for example, we've all had these days where you get out of bed, and I had one of these days the other day. Let's say you wake up and you realize your alarm didn't go off, so you're running late. So now you're like running all around the house like a maniac, trying to catch up and make up on that time you've lost. And let's say that in the process of hurrying up, you grab your coffee, you spill it all down yourself. Now you're even more late. Now you have to change. And it seems like things just keep happening that are making your day worse and worse. And so it's like this negativity becomes a very powerful thing. It's like you get caught in it, and it's almost like it's like a whirlpool or like a tornado, that the longer these things keep happening and you just keep going with the flow and going about your day and getting angrier and angrier about all the things that aren't going your way, it's picking up more speed and more energy. And vibrationally, it's getting stronger and stronger. So what happens is that without even realizing it, you are attracting more and more of that into your life without realizing it, because every time something bad happens, like you overslept, you get mad, you react to it. Then you spill the coffee on yourself, you get mad, you react. And I don't know if you're like me, but whenever I get upset and I react, sometimes I say things out loud, right? Like, oh, are you kidding me? Something like that. Well, what happens is you are now stuck in a negative pattern and cycle of behavior. Here's the really cool thing about it. You can change that at any time. But we have to be very diligent about being present in the moment and realizing the instant we're going to that place of negativity. Because we're blocking our abundance when we're focusing on the negative. Because then what happens is you go, oh, this job, I wanted a new job, a better job, but I'm just stuck with this job. And that is actually blocking you from getting that new job. because your attitude should be, I'm thankful I have this. I know something better is already on its way to me, but I'm grateful I have this while I have it, because there are a lot of people out there who don't have jobs. And I'm thankful that I have this. So there's a difference, because you're just allowing. What happens is most of the time we resist what is supposed to be coming to us. We just naturally do it and we don't realize it. The universe always says yes to us, no matter what it is. So if you say like, oh, I'll never have enough money, the universe is like, yes. So guess what? You never have enough money. But if you say, I always have more than enough money, and the universe is always working behind the scenes on my behalf, and things are always going on and being put into place so that these things can show up for me, the universe says yes. And so it's working on it. You see the difference? And so what happens when you have that negative moment is it's important to immediately recognize it and go, okay, no, stop, rewind, delete. This is not my day. Take a deep breath and realize you're out of alignment. When those things start happening, you're out of alignment and you've been thrown off balance, which happens. It happens to the best of us. I deal with this all the time still. I still am not quite at the place where I recognize this negative thing and stop it immediately. It's pretty close to immediately, but there are still times when one or two more things have to happen before I go, wait a minute, whoa, I'm totally in control of this. I am in control of my thoughts. And you absolutely are. So many of us feel like we're victims and that we can't control what's happening to us in our lives, but we absolutely can control it. Well, and let me make the distinction. Maybe we can't control what's happening. What we can control is our reaction to it. We can absolutely control our reaction to it. Because the law of attraction is all about thinking good feeling thoughts. It's your birthright to be abundant and to be happy and joyful and to think good thoughts. It is your birthright. We've forgotten that. We get so bogged down by what happens to us every day in our lives that we forget. And then we get into that cycle of victimhood again. And victimhood and worrying does nothing positive for you. It does nothing positive for you. You may feel good for a little bit to gripe and moan and complain about everything under the sun, but I promise you what you're doing is calling way more stuff to be unhappy about into your life because you're doing it energetically. You've sent out a vibration, which is like a message to the universe saying, yeah, give me more of that stuff because I'm reacting to it. You know? And honestly, I mean, the best thing I can compare it to is when I was little, my brother used to pick on me all the time. And he used to laugh and it made him so happy to pick on me. And I would get so mad. And my mom just said to me, she was like, if you didn't react to him, he would quit. You know, instead of punishing him, she says to me, stop reacting to it and he'll quit doing it. And of course, my 7-year-old brain was like, that can't be right. So I ignored it. But finally, one time I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to listen to her. So I just stopped reacting and I just walked away. And at first he tried to follow me and continue teasing me. And then when he realized I wasn't going to have a reaction, he just walked away and went and picked on my sister. I mean, it was easy. It worked. But that's kind of what the universe is doing too. It's like if we choose to react to every little thing that upsets us, the universe is like, oh, okay, I guess they want more of that. But that's not what you want. So you're actually blocking your abundance by not paying attention to your thoughts. We absolutely are in control of our thoughts. So if something doesn't feel good, for example, and I know this is hard because you've been so programmed and conditioned to focus on the negative. Biologically, your brain focuses on the negative. So when you're trying to change your habits and you're trying to switch from being a negative person to a positive person, you're actually going against your biology. So no wonder it's hard to do. That doesn't mean you can't do it or that it's impossible. And I don't want to say it's hard because it's not hard. It's actually really easy, but it's getting into the practice of doing it. That's the hard thing because you have to make it a habit. And we're so prone to going on autopilot and going about our day and getting so busy that we don't realize we're resisting. We're putting up resistance. And you can actually kind of feel the resistance in your body. It feels like a heavy energy. And whenever something money-wise comes up, you feel that resistance either in your stomach or your chest, or maybe you feel it in your head, but you feel that energy. Well, that's what you're sending back to the universe, and that's not what we want. We want to have the energy of allowing, of being in the flow, of knowing that no matter what happens, I know I'm always being taken care of, and the universe always has my best interest at heart, and the universe is always working behind the scenes to bring me what's for my highest good, always. And when you shift into that and you see that difference, you're going to see a huge shift in your life. I know this because I was being taught a lesson, and I may have mentioned this before a few weeks ago, where a bunch of financial things came up at once. And I know that money stories are one of my biggest problems, and I know exactly why. I've seen the past lives. I understand what it's about, because in a time, several of my past lives, one, I had a lot of money and it didn't bring me happiness because I couldn't trust people, so I equated money with being bad. And in another, I worked so hard and I felt like I had to work all the time for the money. And so I equated it with, if you want money, you have to work hard, and nobody wants to kill themselves working hard for money. And it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to work hard for your money. I'm here to tell you this. And hopefully this story will help you to understand this. But when the financial things started coming up for me, I at first went to that place of, like the wind is knocked out of me. And I immediately wanted to be like, why are you testing me? What is going on? I wanted to go to that place of being a victim. But luckily, I've been doing this long enough that I realize this is a lesson. You're being tested. Stop what you're doing. You're out of alignment. So I stop. I take a deep breath. I close my eyes. I say, okay, universe, I know I'm out of alignment with this because I know that I have nothing to fear. I know that I have nothing to worry about. You are always working behind the scenes on my behalf. You're always bringing me what's for my highest good. And so the only thing that's worrying me is me. I'm allowing my own ego to get in my way, to get in my head, and to tell me stories because this happened one time, it's going to happen again. And that's not true. And so I ask, help me to get back into alignment. Help the fear, release the fear. And you may even have to do a tapping to release the fear. But for me, I can simply acknowledge it and realize this is not realistic. This is not something I need to worry about. I know that everything's going to be okay. And as soon as I did that, like one of the things was my daughter had money, a refund she was supposed to get from one school. And then because of how late we had actually filled out her application for the other school, we had to pay in full and then get a refund. And so the refund wasn't being released from the other school to help pay for the new school. And so my old way of thinking was, oh, well, what are we going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And it was like I knew I should have the money, but for some reason it wasn't being released and it was just stuck there and I could see the refund. But then I realized you're blocking it energetically because you're checking on it and you're not trusting and you're doing this, you're going to the place of worry. So I took a deep breath and I was like, okay, universe, I know that money's coming. I don't have to know when, where, why, how, just free it up. I just need to let go of the worry. And like the next day, they had sent it back. And it was totally, I was aware of the fact that I was blocking it energetically. And I do that all the time without thinking about it, because when I go to put out a new product or something, I want to say, oh, who's going to buy this? No, everyone's going to want to buy this. Everyone's going to want this. You just have to be in that place of allowing. And it comes from recognizing when you're having the bad day, the negative thoughts, which happens to every single person. You've got to stop yourself and say, okay, universe, I am out of alignment. Help me to get back into alignment. Help me to trust and have faith that I am always being taken care of. So it's about minding your mind. And you may even want to keep a journal. If there are things that you constantly think, like I always do this every time, have a backup thought ready to go. So if you always say to yourself, I can't pay my bills, stop, take a breath, rewind, delete. I'm always able to pay my bills. I always have more than enough left over after I pay my bills. And you may be thinking to yourself, yeah, but my finances, listen to me. So many amazing things can happen. You have to be open to the possibility that multiple streams of income can come to you in surprising ways, because it can. Just a couple of weeks ago, after I was having these money block issues, I got a phone call from a research company, and they said, if you come in on Saturday and you do a mock trial, we'll pay you. And it was good pay too. And it was an opportunity to make money that I had never thought of. I didn't even realize they still did that, or that it was possible to be a part of that. And it was an opportunity that came open. And sometimes opportunities come in that don't require me to do anything. I have had insurance checks come in for safe driving. I mean, I guess I had to drive safely, but I didn't even know that they did that. And here, like $200 check came in. It can be any number of things. Not once, this is not a joke. Both times that I filed my income tax last year, I used a program online. I did it myself, but I double checked everything and I thought everything is right, And this is the first time this has ever happened to me in my life. The IRS sent a letter like, we disagree with your numbers. We owe you more. And I didn't even know they did that. I was like, the IRS actually tells you when they owe you more money than you calculated? Like, that's a thing? And that happened to me twice, where they said, oh, okay, we feel like you overpaid, so we're going to pay you back more even. And not just like, here's $25. It was like $250 more than I was expecting. And that's happened twice. And you could just say, oh, well, you must be terrible at doing your taxes. No, I mean, I've been doing my taxes for years. I've never had that happen before. Now, they'll contact you immediately if you owe them more money. But that's happened a couple of times, and it's like, okay, I wasn't expecting that. I didn't even know they did that. Crazy. And those kinds of things can happen all the time. But you just have to be open to it. You have to say, whatever universe you think is for my highest good, I am so open and ready to receive. And you have to have a yes attitude. Know that the universe is always saying yes to you. So like if you want to go talk to your boss about a raise that you think you deserve, most of the time we go in there with the mindset of, I'm going to have to talk him into this, right? Like a sales pitch, like I'm preparing for the no. Prepare for the yes instead and see how that shifts. Call on your team to give you the words and walk in there expecting that raise, that they're going to be on your side and say yes, and watch what happens. People who are really good at selling and things like that, it's not that they're any more sometimes persuasive than other people. It's that they expect to succeed. They go in with an attitude of success, a millionaire mindset, because they know that the universe is always going to bring them what's for their highest good. So when you know that, when you trust that, when you believe that, why should you think you're going to fail? You will never fail if you have the universe behind you. So it's having that open mindset of, yes, bring me what's for my highest good, and allowing it to come in. Knowing that your thoughts cultivate that. So if you start having a thought of like, oh, I don't deserve that, or oh, that can't happen, immediately rewind, delete, reframe that. Oh, why couldn't that happen? Absolutely, that could happen. I deserve that. See what happens when you start reframing your thoughts. The other thing you need to do is to really show gratitude. Because when we're grateful, not just for the things that are coming, but for what you already have, when we're grateful and we show gratitude, it's like telling the universe, yeah, please send me more good stuff. I'm ready for it. I'm open to receiving it. Think about it. If you gave someone a gift and they were just like, okay, great, you would never want to give them another gift again. Because you're like, they don't care. They're not grateful for that. But when we say to the universe, I'm so happy I have this job I get to go to. Even if this is a job that is not your dream job, know that you're just on a journey And you're just at a certain destination, but you should be thankful and grateful for all the destinations you've had because they've taught you things and they've supported you. It gave you money and a means to support your family. It doesn't mean that's where you have to stay, but show gratitude for where you are because the universe is going to help you get to that next level. Do you want the help? Because if you're not showing gratitude, then probably not going to get it. The universe will be like, well, I'm wasting my time here. So instead, grateful for everything. If someone says to me like, I've gone to a restaurant before and they're like, oh, what, I didn't charge you for, let's say I had a beer. I didn't charge you for the last beer because I forgot to bring it in and I'm just not going to charge you. I have to show so much gratitude to the universe. That might seem like a small thing. It's not a small thing. Every little thing that we are brought is a huge deal. It's an amazing thing. And when we start treating life like everything that happens is a miracle, guess what miraculous things are going to show up? Look at it like, oh my gosh, wow, universe, you're amazing. What else can you do? Show me how amazing you are. This was amazing. What else is there? Isn't that a lot more inviting than, okay, yeah, thanks for the free beer? No. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Thank you. That gives me a little bit more money that I can do something else with, I can maybe help someone else or whatever. When we show gratitude, it's like telling the universe, okay, more please, more of that good stuff. I'm ready. And I know you want it and you deserve it and it's your birthright. So energetically, we have to be open to the energy of yes. Remember, the universe always says yes to you. What is the universe saying yes to? Yes to more debt or yes to more wealth? Yes to more loneliness or yes to more love? And we can look at it like this. I have so many people in my life who love me right now. I can't wait for more of that love to come in. All of those things can help you. And if you need help with your mindset, you're not alone, first of all. Like I said, you're fighting literally your biology and trying to change your mindset and your programming because we've been told all kinds of things like money is evil, money doesn't grow on trees, true love is hard to find, all of those things. And they're lies, first of all, but we are believing them and we think that they're the truth. And we have to reprogram our brains. We have to reprogram ourselves. And I needed help doing that. And it's something I still constantly work on. And I worked with a coach who helped me. So if that's something that you need and you want the help, you can either work with me one-on-one and we can really get to the bottom of where your limiting beliefs are and how we can change those. And we can do it through many, many different tools. Journaling is awesome. Also, we can use mantras and we can use meditations and we can use hypnotherapy to start changing your behavior. Absolutely, we can. Or if you don't know if you're ready for that big leap of working with a coach one-on-one, maybe you just want to know, maybe you want to change a few things. I have so many programs that can help you. You can do the 10-day intensive self-love course, which will teach you how to change your thoughts about yourself, to start loving yourself more and inviting more things in. And I do tackle limiting beliefs and how to get over money blocks. I even cover that in my course. And I cover how to tap into your purpose and how to actually find passion in your life again. And that course right now is only $20. So it's like $2 a day. And that is less than a cup of Starbucks coffee. And some of us can't live without that, can we? This is making an investment in yourself, which is so worth it. And there's no shame in saying, yeah, I have a really negative mindset. I have a bad attitude and I need some help. We've all been there. This program is one of the easiest ways to do that. And if you need even more help, you can do my Love Your Life course, which doesn't just talk about self-love, it talks about the angels and how they can help us. It gives you several tools like guided meditations, tappings, mantras, so many other things too that are amazing that can help you. you can go right to my website, melissaoatman.com, and check those out and enroll today. You can start your journey today. And even though it says 10 days or however long it is, it's self-guided, it might take you 2 or 3 days to do the first day's work. That's perfectly fine. There is no time limit. These materials are yours to keep forever. So if it takes you a year to get through 10 days, you know what? Sometimes when we're that stuck, it might. You may keep going back and going, I need to redo this, I need to redo this. That's perfectly fine. It's yours to keep forever. And I highly, highly recommend that you invest in yourself because it's the best investment you'll ever make. I'm so thankful and grateful that I started doing the self-work because I have to tell you what, guys, if I hadn't been doing all of this work and all of this stuff happened to me that did this year, I probably wouldn't still be here. I would have had a nervous breakdown, probably stroked out and had a heart attack because of all of the stress. But because of all of the work that I've done on myself, I know how to deal with it. And I knew what to do and how to get over certain things and how to move past and how to deal with it. I would never have done this well if I hadn't done the work on myself. So I can't recommend that enough because it helped me tremendously. It really, truly did. And you deserve to be happy and healthy and abundant and joyful because all of those things are your birthright. But it starts with you, and it has to start with you, and it has to start with your mind and the thoughts that you cultivate every single day. And in my program, one of my whole lessons is about cultivating a day of happiness, and it's starting your day off right. Because everything you do when you first get up in the morning absolutely affects the rest of your day. And we can instantly shift a bad day, but we have to know how to do it. And when you go through my programs, you learn the tools to help you just instantly go, okay, this is not going to be the rest of my day. This is not how it's going to go. I am shifting it right now. And it works. It absolutely works. Well, guys, I wanted to pull a couple of cards for you today, and the deck that I chose to use is the Money and the Law of Attraction cards by Esther and Jerry Hicks. And the first card I pulled is I have control over the thoughts I think. Since you have control over what thoughts you offer, what could be more just than the powerful law of attraction responding equally to everyone who offers a vibration? Once you gain control over your thoughts you think, your sense of injustice will subside and will be replaced with the exuberance for life and the zest to create that you were born with. Let everything in the universe be an example to you, of the way the law of the universe works. So basically it is telling you your thoughts, the universe responds to them vibrationally. So once you learn how to control your thoughts and to think about only the things that make you happy and only the things that you want to see, there's no need to play that victim anymore because you realize that you're controlling everything. You're controlling it all with your thoughts. And once you get control over your thoughts, you will become a very powerful person. I can assure you that. The second card I pulled for you is My Every Story is Attracting Its Vibrational Match. Every thought that you think is vibrating at a very personal frequency, and by the powerful law of attraction, the essence of that which is like unto itself is drawn. That thought is now attracting another thought that is its vibrational match. And now those combined thoughts are vibrating at a frequency that is higher than the thought that came before. And they will now, by the law of attraction, attract another and another and another, until eventually the thoughts will be powerful enough to attract a real life situation or manifestation. And so basically what it's saying is, what I was just telling you, that your thoughts become very powerful. And the longer you keep up that negative thinking, you actually call things into being because you are giving it power vibrationally. And the longer you keep up that positive thinking and thinking about the yes and allowing and the universe is bringing me everything good, you're giving more power to that and you're allowing that to come in vibrationally. Very powerful thing to think about. And once you learn how to use the law of attraction for your good and for your favor, it becomes a super powerful tool. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you so much for being here with me. As always, if you like this podcast, please subscribe. Please leave a positive review from wherever you're listening. If you could leave me some stars on iTunes, that would be great. Of course, the most amazing compliment you can pay me is to refer me to others. So thank you for those of you who've done that. Also, don't forget to join my new Facebook group. I go live there on Mondays at 6:30 Central, where I do a free card reading. And if you show up for the live, I will pull a card especially for you. I also post videos to Instagram, so go check out those social media sites and follow me there. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day from wherever you are. And remember that if you are not, it is just a thought away. You can shift your thoughts and reframe them to think about all of the amazing and beautiful things that you have in your life. And that is going to bring you even more amazing and beautiful things in your life, which you so deserve. All right, guys, I am sending you so much love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.